guys, thanks for tuning in. I wanted to do a review on my Seagull guitar that I have, and just kind of Seagull guitars in general. This is the first guitar I ever had. I've had it for, as of this video, like 17 years, I think 17 and a half years. And I want to go over the things that I do like about it, the things that I don't like about it, and stuff. I will say, so to start, the durability on this thing is awesome. I mean, like I said, I've had this for 17 years, and it's still in really good shape. I've taken it like all over the country. I've played at open mic nights with it. Back when I lived in Washington, D.C., and I'm just going to kind of show you what it looks like a little bit. Back when I lived in Washington, D.C., I would take this to open mic nights that, you know, I play at like church or different things, and people, you know, and it worked great. Some of the problems, I like that Seagull symbol there. I've got a capo on the first fret right now because this is the guitar I don't use it as much anymore. I just leave it in 2.5 step down, because as I got better, I've gotten more guitars, and so now this one's the one I just leave in a 1/2 step down. So when it's in a 1/2 step down, if you put a capo on the first fret, it'll actually just put it back in standard, and I don't want to retune it just for the video. Yeah, you can see what the neck looks like there, and the finish as well on this side and everything. So it's a little bit dusty. I have a hard time, I always get them dusty right there. So some of the things that I have loved about this guitar: super durable. Like I say, I mean, it's got a couple of little scuff marks or something, but it was used when I got it. My sister actually got it for me for Christmas one year. She used to work at a music place, and I shouldn't say she got it for me, she gave it to me. She used to work at a music place, and she just like never really picked it up, and so she, you know, was like, hey, would you want this? And you know, to make a long story short, I said yes. And so I've had it for a long time, and it's been super durable. I really like the sound a lot too. I just feel like it's got a really nice sound to it. You know, the strings sound great, stuff like that. So I think the sound is great. I think it's a really great beginner guitar. The reasons, well, and Seagull makes pretty high quality guitars, like they last a long time. They generally have really good sound. Here's one thing too: I have never, other than a broken string, I haven't had to fix one thing on this guitar. Now, that to me alone is worth a ton, because I'll include a link to my Fender guitar, but that one I've had like 3 years or something now, just a few years, and I've already had some issues with that one. Now, that one was cheaper. This one was like $500 when my sister got it, and that was like, you know, that was way before I even had it. That was like in 2000. So now with inflation, maybe this would be like a $10,000 guitar. Just kidding, it wouldn't be that much, but it probably would be like $1,000 or $1,500. But I think, you know, and keep in mind, this one doesn't have a jack, so it can't plug in to an amp. I know you can modify it so that they do, but from what I've seen, they never sound that great. But I think the neck is pretty smooth. I've never had, like I say, I've never had to adjust anything on this guitar other than like tuning in like strings, right? And that's just a normal thing. That's like an oil change on a car. You have to do that. Doesn't make the car any less reliable. Doesn't make the guitar any less awesome. So I really like those things. And I also just really like the way that it looks and everything. Now, I will say, even though I do like the sound, my younger brother has a guitar and that I really like. I just feel like the sound is super good, and like it just really rings out. Whereas this, I feel like, is a little bit more muted. One thing I don't like, I would recommend for anyone, when you get an acoustic guitar, get one with a recessed neck. If you can, because if you ever want to play, you know, down here, and at some point you're going to want to, you can't, right? I mean, you're like trying to go, you can, I guess, maybe, but it's a lot more difficult. I'm certainly not that good to do it over that. So I don't like that it doesn't have a recessed neck. It's a little bit harder just to do things like that beginners kind of need to do really easily. Like just hold down the strings is just harder on this guitar than it is on my Fender, which I think with the case and everything was like $200. To be fair, this one came with the case and everything. So I just feel like it's a little bit harder to push down on the strings. The sound isn't quite as loud as I would like it to be. It still has a good sound, but it's just, if I want it to be louder, it's not as loud as I would like. So that's been, I don't want to say frustrating, but that's been like something I wish was different about it. So you can't plug it in, and it doesn't have as loud a sound as I would want anyway. So I couldn't go play with this at like in Nashville or something like that, because when I played at open mic nights, like it was very like just shabbily set up, right? Like they put like a microphone in front of it, and I don't know, just, you know, it's hard so you don't hit the microphone and different things with your hand. So just so you can hear too on the sound, so like, so you can see it does sound good. It sounds really good. So it sounds good. I don't know if you can tell, it gets hard to hear. It just is hard to get really loud. So it's hard to get super loud, but it's also, but I will say for like playing power chords and stuff, and just chords in general, like the you know, Highway to Hell, it's great. So I do think it has good sound. I wouldn't say it's got my favorite sound ever, but I do recommend these Seagull guitars. Like I said, the durability alone and the fact that you can just take it and play, I feel it holds a tune really well. I tune this so rarely, and I'll come back and pick it up and it'll just still have that tune, even with like changes in climate and stuff, or it'll be really close to being in tune. So that's another thing that I really like. Would I recommend this guitar? Yeah, I totally would. I think it's been a great guitar, and I still really love it. There's a lot of sentimental value that I have with it, because I've had it for so long, because my sister gave it to me, but also just because it was my first guitar. And I just think it's just like a solid made guitar. Like it should have so many more scratches for everything I've done, like taking it around. You can see I've got like this thing up here and stuff, but I mean, this is in pretty dang good shape for how much I've taken it around. And one thing I don't like about Seagull, especially from like this guitar year, is that it's like so hard to find what the guitar like model is, because it doesn't just say it anywhere. I mean, there was a spot, I think, I'll show you, I think on the back up here in this thing, it said it, but it's like all faded out, so I can't tell what the exact model is. I'll include a couple Seagull guitars links where you can buy them on Amazon that are good ones. But yeah, so that's those things I don't like about it. It's just not quite as easy to play too. Like, you know, when I play that little riff that's actually from a John Mayer song, like the fingers, this one's a little bit harder when your fingers are just sliding. Okay, so it's harder to do things like that. I just feel like, and it's not just the strings. Like I feel like on the neck of the guitar, my fingers just stick a little bit more than they do on my Fender. Or on my Ibanez. Now granted, my Ibanez is electric, but still. So just to kind of give you an idea. But for people that are beginning, like this guitar is really, really great. I'm just making up stuff, but I'm playing. So you can tell it's got a great sound. Great sound to it. I messed up the chords. So yeah, as you can see, like the sound is good. They're very high quality. And maybe these things about like sliding and stuff are how really high quality guitars are supposed to be, and I'm just like not like up to par with it or something. Like if that's the case, totally let me know in the comments. But I do. It's just been a little bit hard to play in those ways, and I just feel like the Fender that I have is easier to play. So anyway, that's my review. Please hit subscribe and like, and let me know if you have any comments in the bottom, and I'll be happy to get to them as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.